Hello, and welcome to this session today where we're going to talk about how can you list your career options in order to make your right choices. As you know, I am Arun Singhal, your management coach and mentor with 40 years of experience in people development. So, what are we going to do today? What is the purpose of the module today, this session today? The purpose of this module is to give you, again, an in depth understanding of a process that can help you list career options so that you can make the right career choices. At the end of this module, what would you learn? You would learn how can you list career options. We will look at the ways you can do that. We will also get an understanding of why should you list your career option. Why is it necessary to list career option? Then I will give you some examples of what could be some of these options and how many. And then we will take a look at how could you list the right options. The focus is on the right options. All right, so ready to go for today? Wonderful, great. So let's talk about how can you list your career options. What are your thoughts? Want to note down? Take 30 seconds, note down on a piece of paper, and come back if required. Pause this video. All right. So, as I see, listing career option is probably the easiest part of this process, apparently. So, you can begin by asking your parents, just listen and note down. It's a data gathering information gathering session and ask any clarifying question. Okay, you want me to become an IAS officer. Okay, but why? Can you help me understand? That's the kind of questions you can ask in this data gathering session with your parents. Similarly, ask yourself. You are the most important client for yourself in this. So ask yourself, keeping in mind your career objective, and say, hey, if I want to become, but these are my career objectives, I want to earn with dignity and respect. I want to be in India to take care of my mom and dad and sister and family. What are my possible career options? And note down again. And if this hasn't generated enough options, ask your brothers, sisters, close relatives, and friends who know you well. The focus is, important thing is that you should talk to people who know you well so that they can give you some good options, some meaningful options. All right? Right. So let's look at why should you list career option? Why should you go through this step of listing career options? Any thoughts? 30 seconds. Pause the video if required. Come back. All right. See, as I see again, any decision that you take can be as good as only the options that you have looked at. So your career choice can only be as good as your option. So if you miss a great career option, you would also be missing a great career choice possibly, right? And again, life is full of uncertainties. You don't know what will happen. You may be about, let's say, between 20 and 25 today, and you have a whole life of 60, 70 years to live. And in that 60, 70 years, what will happen? God only knows. And we can only make conjectures and guesses. So in that situation, and this I learned from a great author called Taleb, and he talks about if you are in an uncertain situations, it's futile to make predictions because predictions will go wrong, but that's the nature of predictions, right? So what you need to do is keep good options, plan A, plan B, plan C, whatever. And keep changing these options if necessary, but keep options. And that makes you successful in uncertainties. And it made a lot of good sense. There's a wonderful book that he has written on called Anti-Fragility, in which he talks about how do you gain in situations of uncertainty. And life is uncertain for many of you at this point of time. So life is full of uncertainties, hence you need to keep options and good options. The third thing that I can think of is thinking of career options, though looking easy is not that easy because you want to consider all possible options, right? And you don't know what you don't know. And this is another one of my great friend Alex in Singapore when I was working with J&J said, Arun, I don't know what I don't know. And it struck a chord with me for so many years that I keep repeating that you don't know what you don't know. So finding out what you don't know is a big challenge. And the part of listing option is to discover those options that you haven't even thought of, but someone else is looking at it and you get into your consideration set. Right? Make sense? Right. So, what could be some of these options? Some examples to give you some real life body and flesh to this whole idea of listing option. I'm going to take you through example. If you have any thoughts, please list down and then let's tally notes again. So you could look at some of these options. It depends all on your career objectives, as you said, the top of this screen. And I've listed 5 streams of careers that you could do, and there can be many more streams. And so I would not, I would say that this is just an illustration. So you could look at a management career, you could look at a technology career, you could look at a government career, and a career in education, and your own business. Now, if you want to go into management, you could be in sales management, marketing, operations, supply chain, finance, HR, and anything else that can come up there. If you are in the technology side, whether you are in a high-tech nuclear generation or in information technology or any technology, if you are a technical person then your careers are possibly in research and development, product development, and quality. Even if you are an information technology guy, you will be in one of those. Either you will be inventing few things, discovering few things, or you'll be taking that discovery and developing products for meaningful use of the customers, or you'll be controlling the quality of what someone else will produce. If you are in a government career, there are multiple choices, and again, some illustrations. The top-notch careers, as we know, is IAS, IFS, IRS, IPS, and defense. Careers in education, you could go into management, engineering, commerce, arts, fine arts, and many more. Own business, you can get into family business. If you have a family business, you can make your own startup or you can partner with someone. So these are some of the options that you can look at to give you an idea. So how could you list career options, and how many could they be? Any thoughts? 30 seconds, note down, pause the video, come back. Okay, you know the drill now. Right, so as I see again, your options should be, I would suggest minimum 3. Because between 3, you can look at least one choice, and maximum 6. More than 6 will be kind of chaotic. But again, it's your choice. I would suggest between 3 to 6. So you need to find those right options. And how do you find these right options? How do you kind of come to a list of right options? You start with the whole list of options. Don't discard anything. Whoever has said, make a big laundry list of whatever that. And from all the sources, right? With none excluded at this stage, as I was mentioning. Then you say you have by this time defined your career objectives. And in that, if remember, we said there are 2 kinds of career objectives. One is must and second is wants. So bring your musts here. List them on a piece of paper or a spreadsheet or any sophisticated tool that you want. On the top side, what are your musts? And we had said there you can't have more than 3 musts. So bring your top 3 musts. And on the left-hand side in the rows, you put down all your options and then just do a quick tick and cross analysis. Each option, does it meet my musts? 1, 2nd, 3rd. And like this, you will figure out at the end what options meet all your musts. And any option that meets your must could possibly be your right option. You get a sense of this simple methodology? While I say it's simple, but when you want to put across, tick and cross, that might require some thinking and even some discussion with people that have suggested those options. So illustration, this is the illustration that we've been running through an example. What could be right option for these career objectives? These were my objectives, right? So, and I had said that I had chosen these 5 objectives. I need to take care of my mom while keeping in good health, must earn with dignity, and wanted to have my own car and my own house. And if these were my objectives, what possibly could be the career options for these? So again, I'm going back to my own life, and that time many things came, and you can see the various options. I was told, why don't you become my father was an engineer. I said, why don't you also become an engineer, government engineer? Someone said, hey, you're good in studies. Why don't you become a scientist? Someone said, IAS is a great career. We used to have an IPS officer living next door. So my mom said, beta IPS ban jao. Son, why don't you become an IPS? Then there were some people who were in the private sector, in the Indian private sector. They said that. MNCs, management education. So I had at least, let's say, 7 options at that point of time. And I I won't have put them through in this systematic manner, but I can illustrate that to say, you could do a tick and cross analysis. Like government engineer, I crossed it out in a inability to earn with dignity, honesty. One had to be corrupt there to earn decent money, or one has to be satisfied with whatever little money you can get. Scientists sounded it tick on everything. IPS again, IPS and IAS, all those, I'm talking about that time 40 years back, 40, 50, 45 years back. So the money the IAS and IPS got was very little. So you had to depend on other kind of things. The private sector was keeping good health. My understanding was that if you join an Indian private sector, you'll have to work like a slave probably, and you won't be able to devote time for your own health. So I crossed that out. MNCs were more balanced. Similarly was management education. So what I could find that being a scientist, joining an MNC or a management education are three possible right career options for me. Okay. So what did we learn in this session? What we learned in this session is you can list your career option by brainstorming. Brainstorming with no evaluation. Just listen. With your parents, yourself, your close relatives and friends who know you well, brothers and sisters. You need to consider listing all your career options. Why? Because you don't want to miss an opportunity of having a great career. If you don't look at even an option, that's great. You won't even get considered as a choice. And so in certain uncertainty of life required you to keep options. If life is uncertain, and only way to handle uncertainty, as I know, is to develop a lot of good options. Though looks it easy, but generating all options is not easy in any place. You don't know what you don't know, as I said. You may have many options. You have many options in these sectors as well as in other sectors we talked about. So sectors you can look at is management, technology. Technology is a great career happening these days, with technology jumping by leapfrogging actually at this point of time. So technology is a very good option as well. Then you can list the right option by checking all your options on meeting your must career objective. Are you connecting the dots? We said for you to define the objectives in the last session. We need to classify them, the must, and we then start using the must objective to start shortlisting our career objective. Right. So what are we going to do in the next module, next session? So we have set career objectives. We have learned how to set that. We have learned how to list options. We're going to do the remaining, the options that you have listed out of this session. We will go and systematically evaluate them to see what are the possible career choices that you could have. So great talking to you guys. Thank you so much. I enjoyed talking to you, and I hope you enjoyed listening to this. Stay connected and look forward to seeing you in the next session.